What manner of communications are these that ye have one to another, as ye walk and are sad?
Art thou only a stranger in Jerusalem, and hast not known of the things which are come to pass there in these days?
What things?
Concerning Jesus of Nazareth, which was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him up to be condemned to death and have crucified him. But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. And beside all this, today is the third day since these things were done. Yea, and certain women also of our company made us astonished, which were early at the sepulchre. When they found not his body, they came saying that they had also seen a vision of angels, which said that he was alive. And certain of them which were with us went to the sepulchre and found it even so as the women had said. But him they saw not.
O fools, and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Ought not Christ to have suffered these things, and to enter into his glory?
Abide with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is far spent.
Our Father, we offer thanks for thy bounties. Amen.
Amen.
Did not our heart burn within us while he talked with us by the way, and while he opened to us the scriptures?
We must return to Jerusalem this very hour.
Of all the resurrection stories, this is my favorite. The two disciples of Jesus who Sunday afternoon make their way from Jerusalem. They leave Jerusalem and make their way to Emmaus, a little town about 7 miles away. And Jesus saddles up alongside them. They don't know what's going on. You know, they're disciples of Jesus. They weren't part of the 11, but they were some of his followers. They were devoted to him. They stayed with him through all the controversies, all the stuff he went through. They were there. They witnessed the brutality of the cross. They saw all that happened to destroy his physical body, the beatings, the cross itself, the spear thrust into his side. They were there. They were going to Emmaus, a town about 7 miles away, and for them all was lost. This was not a happy journey. Jesus had died, and now everything they believed no longer made sense. You ever been there? They heard that a couple of women in the group went to the tomb and found it empty. They heard Mary Magdalene had seen Jesus. That there was even some scuttlebutt that he appeared to a small group of disciples later that morning. They didn't seem to believe the stories. Were they illusions? Did they want to believe Jesus was alive so bad that their minds played tricks on them? Maybe the Romans took the body just to mess with their heads. They only knew Jesus was dead. Everybody dies. And in our reality, they stay that way. They were saddened that Jesus died. They had no expectation of his return. And Luke tells us about their encounter with Jesus in Luke chapter 24, verses 13 to 35. Jesus comes up alongside and asks them, "What is this conversation that you're holding with each other as you walk?" And they stood still looking at him sad. "We had hoped he was the one to redeem Israel," they replied. Have you been there? Have you ever hoped from something from the Lord and it didn't come to pass? Now, I'm not talking about wishful thinking. I'm talking about a deep longing for something to happen or to become true in your life. You fervently prayed for something and it didn't happen. Maybe it was healing. Maybe it was a job. Maybe it was school. Maybe it was for your marriage or your kids. Whatever it was, it didn't go the way you hoped. And now your hope is gone. These guys had hope. Their hope was in Jesus, but now he's dead, and dead people don't come back to life in their worldview. These guys didn't get it. I doubt we would have had we been there in that moment. We have the benefit of looking backwards on everything completed, right? They had lost hope. And what's really cool about Jesus in this story is he doesn't rip into them, "Oh, you lack of," he doesn't berate them. He doesn't tell them how messed up they were. He does call them foolish. Yeah, they were foolish because they let go of their trust in the one they had believed. That's what made them foolish. For a little over 3 hours, Jesus filled in the blanks with them. It would taken about 3 hours to walk from Jerusalem to Emmaus. And the Bible tells us that during that time, he went through the scriptures and explained everything about the Messiah to help them understand the big picture. So let me bring this home for us today. How many times have we believed when times were good? How many times did we say thank you to God when we received what we hoped for? How many times have we said, "Yes, of course I believe in Jesus. I don't doubt." And then when the inconceivable happens, we don't get what we hoped for. We fall into hard times. We struggle more with our health. We endure loss and grief. Suddenly, the joy and presence of Jesus vanishes, and we struggle to hold on to a strand of faith. We've all been there, right? The reality of Christ's resurrection gives us joy we can hold on to no matter what. Jesus promised us he would be with us on lonely roads, when we feel alone, and when life doesn't make sense. He comes alongside us and walks with us. And John, I'm going to ask you to come and get ready to sing for us, if you would. As you walk the road to Emmaus, we will all walk the Emmaus road. And you know what's interesting? They weren't alone on that road. This was a busy road. Lots of people passed them. Not one recognized Jesus, not even the two he was walking with. Sometimes he's just right there and we miss him because we're so caught up in our stuff. We can't see him standing right next to us. At times when you struggle with whatever is going on in your life, trust the promise that he's walking right there with you. He has not abandoned you. He has not left you to fend for yourself. He will never do that. He is your constant presence. Jesus is here, and wherever you are today, Jesus is with you. He is present. Sometimes we just need to open our hearts, our spirits, and our minds and let him in and celebrate the joy of Christ's presence, grace, and love. He is risen, and he is not far away. Amen? Amen.